Hello, UK! Welcome to my British countryside family vacation. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For the next 16 days, I'm going to be here in the beautiful British countryside of the Cotswolds. Most people know the Cotswolds as the place where you may run into a certain Jude Law in like a cozy little pub midwinter a la The Holiday. And while I'm not going to not keep my eyes open for Mr. Law at said cozy pub, I'm technically here with my kids and my husband, which maybe is like a little less romantic, but it's what I got. And I'm actually really excited about it. So come with me a little British adventure as I share everything I eat, everything I do, and everywhere I go on holiday. It might not be beach weather, but it is damn beautiful here. So first I want to hop in here quick to tell you about my sponsor, Miro. So I am a planner, always have been, always will be, hashtag type A, and I take great pleasure in planning out our family trips while still trying to leave some room for flexibility, spontaneity, and fun. But I recently discovered Miro for work, and it turned out to be a huge asset for helping me to conceptualize our UK trip. So for my trip, I used the mind map template, which basically just helped me keep track of all the little things that I read about the Cotswolds online. So when it came time to do like a day trip, I would know what we wanted to check out. You can also easily share the map with family, so my husband and I could both have a reference for what we wanted to do on each day. I also used it as like a packing and to-do list for my husband and I, because I needed to remind him weeks in advance to like get his passport renewed and ensure that we had a rental car lined up. Those were like basically some of the only jobs that I gave him, but at least with the reminders, I was sure he was gonna get to them. So Miro has not only been super useful in my business, but also for all of these little personal events as well. But if you want to try out Miro yourself, you can check out my link in the description to sign up for free. Before we get into it, I quickly want to share a disclaimer that I will be talking about my body and weight loss, and I also ask that you refrain from making any comments about my body in the comments. Okay folks, let's get to the vlog. Okay folks, let's talk vacation eating. So as you guys know, I'm an intuitive eater, so I don't have strict rules that I follow when it comes to what I eat or when I eat it or how much I eat, etc. But when I'm at home, I'm working. I've got my kids in school and we've got a hard schedule around here. We basically work hard during the week and play hard on the weekends because that's basically all we have the energy to do. So as a result, you know, my whole family has a pretty regimented eating and meal schedule. So, you know, I eat my breakfast around 9, I have my lunch around 1, I've got my dinner around 6, and I have a bedtime snack. And I allow myself treats throughout the week, but I would say that most of my indulgent meals happen on the weekend when I actually have time to go out with my husband and our friends. And it's usually kind of all happening at once. So like I'm having the wine, I'm having the big dinner, and I'm having dessert because I'm going out. But when I'm on vacation, it's like, there is no schedule. There is no routine. So we're going out for lunch one day. Maybe we're staying in and making something kind of a little bit more nourishing with more vegetables at night. The next day we might go for brunch and maybe have a little sip of wine midday. So I always find that these opportunities to like get out of your routine are really good for getting back in tune with your hunger and your fullness cues and also those satisfaction signals because, you know, it's a good reminder that tomorrow is going to be another delicious day, right? Like you don't have to finish the bottle of wine tonight. You can have a little bit today, have a little tomorrow. You don't have to have dessert when you go out for dinner if you don't want to, because you're probably going to go out for another meal at some point on your trip. Obviously acknowledge that this is a privilege. So I'm not suggesting that everyone should just go on holiday or go on vacation in order to get back in tune with their hunger and fullness cues. But whatever you can do to kind of strip away those routines, at least periodically, I find can be a really good kind of mental reset. And speaking of mental reset, wowie, wow. Honestly, like this place is pure magic. I might never, ever leave. Like, it feels like I'm in Snow White, surrounded by all these breathtaking fairy forests and wild flowers and woodland creatures. Like, we literally have deer and bunnies in our yard every morning, and we've got cows and sheep on our property that we pass by every day. It is heaven on earth here for my boys, which obviously means it is heaven for me. And speaking of mom life, let's get back to my full-time job of buying and prepping and packing delicious snacks. Take a look. Another day, another shopping trip. Because when you've got a family with 3 boys in it, you go through a lot of food, especially produce. And I've got 2 interesting observations here when it comes to British food at the grocery store. One, what is with all the plastic? Literally everything you buy, fruits and vegetables, come in plastic like this.
And the worst, beware of the plastic.
Outside of bananas and a whole pineapple I bought, everything comes in plastic. I don't understand that when they won't even give you a plastic bag for your grocery shopping, which they shouldn't, but then they do this. I don't get that. But second observation, which I actually like, is that I don't know if this is a law or if this is just what they voluntarily do, but on their ingredient list, they actually list out the percentage of what each ingredient makes up. And this is really great, especially for parents, because a lot of times marketer will make it seem like there's, tons of fruits and vegetables or real fruit or, made with real fruit or real vegetables in a particular product, especially when it's marketed towards children. But this will tell you exactly what is in that food. So if you just had a smidgen, like a milligram worth of broccoli in something, you would know that because it would say it's only 0.5% broccoli. So in this case, I bought these smoothies when I ordered online, thinking it would be more like an actual thick smoothie, but actually it's 47% apple juice. So whatever, the kids are enjoying these and they're great because I use them as a basis for smoothies, which I add yogurt to, but they're not exactly the same as making a smoothie at home because half of it is basically just juice. Anyways, America, Canada, please catch up because I am all about transparency and I love this level of transparency. And this seems like a good time to talk about exercise on vacation. So at home, I have a, basic workout routine. I do a lot more intentional exercise. I do little workouts on the floor. I have some equipment in my home. I play tennis regularly, but here, really all I have are a couple ankle weights, an exercise band, and some 5-pound dumbbells. And the kids are also basically on top of me anytime I try to use them because this is not a very large rental house. So I'd really only ever get 15-minute bursts of super low impact exercise time, which really just ended up being kind of quiet time for me. And then the rest of the 2 weeks, I was just walking. I did play tennis once and I also went horseback riding, though I was obviously just sitting on my ass for that. But otherwise, I was just kind of moving and exploring. And that's okay. That's what holidays are all about. Gentle, joyful movement. A few weeks out of the gym is not going to make or break anything. If anything, it's nice to give my body a break, and hiking through the beautiful Cotswold countryside, or even better, doing a little shopping in London, is a way more fun to get in my daily movement. Okay, folks, let's talk about building balanced meals while traveling. And yes, I'm still wearing this same sweater because I packed really poorly and this is the only sweater I brought. So I'm wearing it even though it's dirty. But anyways, what is my game plan here? So number one, I'm always thinking about enjoyment and experience. This is really no different than when I'm at home, but it's particularly important, I think, when, you're on some kind of novel vacation or holiday, because you're never going to look back in 20 years. Ooh, spider web. You're never going to look back in 20 years and think, oh, I'm so glad I just ate salad on that trip. But you will look back and think, I really wish that I tried that, local specialty cuisine. I'm so glad I had the fish and chips, or I'm so glad I had that unique special dessert, or I'm so glad that I tried that wine. I know that enjoyment and experience is really, really important because otherwise, if you just live in a state of denial, you're gonna probably binge. And number two, I think about my hunger crushing combo: fiber, protein, and healthy fats. So as you guys know, it is a framework. It's not a rule, but generally speaking, we want to try to get in fiber, protein, healthy fats at most meals and snack on the day-to-day in order to feel our best. And everyone's priorities of the hierarchy for fiber, protein, healthy fats is going to be unique. And that might be unique for specific scenarios, for specific goals, just what feels best to you or what your preferences are. For me, my hierarchy at home normally is usually protein, fiber, and then fat. But when I'm here, my priority is actually fiber, protein, and then fat. See the distinction? And there's a really good reason for this, because as I mentioned, I have IBS-C and it's pretty well managed at home on the regular when I'm in my usual routine, but it can get thrown off anytime I'm traveling or in times of stress or any kind of novel food experiences. So that means when I'm building a meal or out for dinner or out for lunch and I'm choosing what I'm going to order, I'm not thinking about the calories at all. I'm thinking about, can I get in a source of fiber? Because it's actually always the hardest thing to do when you eat in restaurants is to find those vegetables, right? Protein in a restaurant meal, pretty easy to find. Fat, very easy to find. Fiber, though, in any kind of meaningful quantities can be a bit more of a challenge. So for me, that means I'm just trying to look for fruits, vegetables, whole grains. And if I really haven't gotten much in the day, I'll always have a really high fiber snack before bed. So like pears, raspberries, my kiwis, which, are really great for IBS-C as well. But yeah, I just know for me that without getting that fiber in, I'm going to get an IBS flare and it's not going to be a good trip. But I'm really curious to know what hunger crushing combo hierarchy works best for you in your life. Okay, so obviously eating for IBS is a priority for me, but I will never let that get in the way of my fun. So let me quickly show you some of the delicious things that I ate. So as you've probably seen from now, we've rented a house because I've got kids, which meant that we had a nice balance of eating out and some casual cooking at home. Usually we would have breakfast at home, so basic stuff, oatmeal, toast, eggs, whatever was easy. And also, by the way, the eggs here are out of control gorgeous. Like, they don't even look real. But anyways, then we would often eat lunch on the go while exploring little towns or villages. I basically just try to enjoy a balance of different fresh salads and fish and chips and pizza, high tea sandwiches, Sunday roasts, like whatever was on the menu that sounded or felt appealing to me in that moment. I really never deny myself any food experiences, especially when traveling. But as I discussed, I do keep my hunger crushing combo in the back of my mind just to make sure that I know that I can feel my best on the trip. Dinners, I would say we did a lot of like simple family meals, just stuff that I knew that the kids would like, including baking some cookies with the kids one day. And on a few occasions, my hubby and I escaped and splurged on some unique date nights. Pre-kids, my husband and I solely traveled for food, so it's really nice to do a few child-free, leisurely, fancy meals whenever we're traveling. We ended up going to London on 2 different occasions. The first night we ate at Dinner by Heston Blumenthal, which is a 2 Michelin star. And the second time we went to Evelyn's Table, which is a 1 Michelin star. Both were really, really, really good. Well, this is gorgeous, isn't it? Oh my God, I need my sunglasses. It is hot. Wow, what a blessing. Okay, so checking in with a little vlog here. Just want to tell you what's on my mind today, but I did want to issue a trigger warning about what I'm going to say. I'm going to be talking about body weight, disordered eating, etc. I have a tendency to lose a little bit of weight whenever I go on vacation. And I acknowledge that that's not an experience that maybe a lot of you can relate to. But for me, it's pretty common because I am an intuitive eater. And so when I'm out and about on holiday, I'm just busier, right? Like I am out walking so much more. I'm sitting down and eating basically just at mealtime. So a lot less snacking. I'm not sitting at my desk kind of like bored eating. And so as a result, what I'm noticing is that because we're just so busy in the day, I'm eating as much as I possibly can at my meals. And then I go to bed and I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and I'll be like, oh, I'm hungry. And as a result, I think I'm losing a little bit of weight and I don't like that. I looked at myself in the mirror today and I thought, oh gosh, I'm looking way skinnier than I'm comfortable looking. And then I also just thought back to being in London a few days ago where I was trying on jeans and doing it really, really quickly before I needed to go get my kids. But I was a little distressed because the size of jeans that I was putting on is certainly not my normal size jeans. And I looked at the size and I thought, I can't buy these because it was super triggering for me. It just kind of reminded me of some of the worst years of my life. And so this is all a really good reminder to me that I need to slow down even when I'm out and about traveling with my kids and things are chaotic and I'm not sitting down properly to eat. I mean, I'm rushing through meals with my kids because they are like terrors in the restaurant. These are COVID kids, so we haven't had a whole lot of experience in restaurants yet. So it's stressful to eat with my children, to say the least. And I am finding that perhaps I'm not able to listen to my hunger cues as well when I'm feeling rushed and on the go and constantly seeing things and overstimulated with just all the action. So this is a good reminder to myself that I might need to just eat a little bit more than I think I need or what I feel like I'm hungry for. And I'm gonna have to take more mindful breaks throughout the day to refuel, have more snacks, and just maybe choose even more higher calorie things, which again, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, oh, you're so lucky. And in a lot of cases, absolutely yes. But the fact that I'm an intuitive eater, I don't get to these holidays and feel like I need to overindulge and binge. I can still just listen to my body and those hunger cues and what I know feels good to my body in terms of balanced meals. But in this case specifically, I feel like I need to make an effort to eat even more. So yeah, let me be the content creator, the one person on these apps who is suggesting that maybe sometimes less isn't more. And on that note, I'm actually hungry because we are home today and I'm able to really acknowledge those hunger cues. We're not out and about, we're doing our thing. I think it's time for lunch. Okay, so I'm just starting to get myself organized and rearrange and pack things, which means we're nearing the end of our trip. And I'm embarrassed to say that it just dawned on me, like today, that the reason perhaps why I haven't been able to kind of like eat intuitively with my actual caloric needs, which are likely quite enhanced on this trip due to all the activity and like schlepping and lack of desk work, I guess you could say, is because my circadian rhythm is all up. Like I've gone these 2 weeks feeling pretty nauseous every morning. I was thinking like maybe it's this coffee that is not settling well with me. And I was like, I feel nauseous every morning and that is interfering with my ability to eat my generally typical sized breakfast or even have an appetite for breakfast at all. And that's also why I'm getting up in the middle of the night to have like a big snack. It's because my body and brain still thinks that it's dinner time when it's midnight and that when it's breakfast time here, it's like the middle of the night. So of course I'm not gonna have an appetite and feel kind of sick when I'm forcing myself to eat. It's all making sense. We're at the end of the trip here, so I'm really not sure how many improvements we're gonna be able to make in a few days before I give my whole body another slap in the face with a circadian rhythm disruption. But at least I will know for next time not to like force my body into having breakfast at a certain time if it doesn't feel like it, and instead work with my body and focus on having like a really big hearty bedtime snack, aka like a whole other meal, in order to meet my typical caloric needs. Making that a priority is an act of self-care because I know that's what my body actually needs. As I always say, guys, intuitive eating is a journey. It's all about learning your body's cues, collecting data, and those data cues, what I think I know about my body, is going to change when everything gets turned on its head, as clearly it has. Obviously, if I were to stay here in the UK for like several more weeks or months, I would be able to flip the switch, figure it out, and easily get back on track with meeting my nutritional needs intuitively. But because things are not feeling normal to me, it means that I may have to kind of juggle things around and make a point to eat a larger meal in that evening time frame, just simply as an act of self-care. So yeah, you live and you learn, and I'm gonna go home in a couple days and my body and my hunger cues and my intuition as I know it is all gonna get back on track. And on that note, let's get a snack. So we just got back from our second trip to London, which was so nice, little child-free escape there. And the good news is that I guess I had a little bit of a false panic attack about the weight loss at my last London trip. Whatever pair of pants I tried on, the sizing was totally off, because basically everything I tried on this trip fit pretty true to my normal size. But I think this speaks to a really relatable experience, that seeing any kind of external number or size or weight can really trigger us. Like, it can really throw off our mood for the entire day. In my case, seeing a smaller pant size than what I'm used to seeing in my kind of normal healthy state was really triggering for me. Like, it brought me back to really problematic days. But for most people, including myself sometimes, seeing a size of pants that is larger than what we're used to seeing can feel really, really anxiety provoking, right? You immediately think, oh, I can't buy that. You know, like, you're turned off the pants even if they look really, really great on you. And it puts you in a really sourpuss mood. So this is a gentle reminder not to let the size of your pants or the number on your scale or any kind of like blips you see like that ruin your day. And speaking of a really good moment here, I admittedly went a bit crazy in London. I don't know, I had in my head, this is like definitely an ADHD thing, that, you know, if I'm gonna shop, this is the place to do it. And I always have buyer's remorse. And I have it right now, and I'm feeling a little guilty, I'm not gonna lie. But you might as well enjoy a little fashion show, so let's do it. Everyone loves a fashion show. Okay guys, I'm going to interrupt the beautiful idyllic aesthetic that is the Cotswolds to talk to you about ghosts. This feels like a little bit of a Beetlejuice moment, especially because I'm standing in front of a mirror. And I probably shouldn't be talking about this in the house. But this is the area that I've been staying in. It's kind of like a really old original barn. I'm sleeping up there. And I think it's from like the 1600s. And I am 100% that it is definitely, I don't want to say it out loud because I don't want to like stir up any activity, we'll just say. But I was sleeping the other night and I was woken at 4 a.m., not by my children, which is typical, but because I felt and saw a child shake me awake. I don't know how to explain this. Could have been a dream, could be the fact that I take a lot of drugs, but I've never had anything like that happen to me before exactly, where I wake up and I feel kind of in a dream state, kind of not in a dream state, but pretty sure there was a child shaking me awake. But yeah, now that I've kind of put that out into the world, I'm just hoping that there's not more mischief, no more wake ups. My kids can wake me up, but not another random kid, please. Well, guys, I am happy to report no more official activity, but I'm sad to report that means it's time to go home. Always so depressing when these things come to an end. But I gotta say that I feel like the British countryside is just such a different lifestyle than the rat race of Toronto where I live at home. And you know, my husband and I are just constantly toying with the idea of getting out of the city. You know, yes, it was fun when we were young and single and we didn't have kids, but now that we do have kids, it just doesn't feel like the right environment and atmosphere to raise the kinds of human beings that we want in this world, you know? Like, we just feel like we can't give our kids the opportunity to be at one with nature and get curious when they're confined to this tiny box, and anything outside of that is super dangerous or like a safety concern. Like, there are just way too many no's, or don't do that, or don't go there, or be careful. Like, way too many don'ts when we want to foster independent humans to be able to explore and make decisions and mistakes for themselves. And you just can't do that in the city because we're like afraid of, I don't know, getting kidnapped or traffickers or like a car hitting you. So yeah, I don't know how easy it is to get a British passport. If anyone's going through that, please let me know. I definitely have British ancestry, but my grandfather was just barely born in Canada. His parents were pregnant with him and his siblings were all born here in the UK, but he was not. So I feel like it's going to be a bit of a tricky go, but I may or may not be Googling this all the way home. But I hope you guys enjoyed my little holiday vlog. If you like this video, be sure to give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment below if you guys have any questions or if you have any recommendations for like getting a visa or something, just saying. And thanks again to Miro for helping me plan this trip and helping my business run smoothly back at home for this type A YouTuber. And I'll see you next time back in the kitchen at Abby's Kitchen. Bye.